This event is being co-hosted by the Permanent Mission of Nigeria and the U.S. African Eye, which is a great pleasure for me to stand in for the Permanent Mission of Nigeria. My name is Akinremi Bolaji. I'm a minister, plenipotentiary in the Permanent Mission of Nigeria. A minister in diplomatic circle is different from political minister. So I can't award contract. I only deal with diplomacy. But it's a ministerial portfolio. And so it's an honor for me to welcome all of the distinguished personalities that are here. I have decided that we should start in consultation with Dr. Balofin, who is the representative and the coordinator of the U.S. African Eye. So this is a partnership that I've brought you all here. So we are glad that you are here.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, Excellency. My name is Tunde Mustafa. I'm from the Permanent Mission of Nigeria in Geneva.
Hi, I'm Bob Brunner, formerly with Arik Air, and now I'm the president of Reaching New Heights Airline Consultancy, and I'm here on the agenda, so you'll be hearing more from me later.
All protocol observed. My name is Dr. Obola Motosho. I'm here in the Bronx and chair of the committee board in the Bronx, AMPA, and also NAPA. Thank you.
Paul Trotman from Newark, and an advocate for traditional Nigerian culture.
Engineer Bed Manago, Chairman, Board of Trustees, NIDO Americas.
Professor Apollos Owa, Professor of History and Africana Studies at Bowling Green State University, and also a member of Board of Trustees of NIDO Americas.
I'm Francis Okiria. I'm the senior pastor of Westminster KNS Church at Bojusi in Brooklyn, New York.
I'm Falakemi Ayedun, and I'm here in support of Reverend Mother Esther Ajayi. I'm a member of the CNS Church.
My name is Ushami. I'm from U.S. Blue Sky Capital, doing investments all over the world. Thank you.
My name is Honorable Olamide Davis Talabi. I'm the CEO of Miss Africa Tri-State.
Pastor Dr. Michael Akintayo, Graduate School Metropolitan College and Christ Apostolic Church at Galatura, Secretary, New York, Brooklyn, New York.
My name is Isaiah Chabala, formerly Ambassador of Zambia to the United Nations and the European Union, and President of the Visionary Consulting Associates.
Ugochukwu Nwokoro, Deputy Mayor, City of Newark, New Jersey. Victor, First Secretary, Nigerian Mission.
Unifadi Muiwa, Councilor. Second Secretary.
Yowande Austin, the founder of the Change Rocks Foundation and Global Institute for Diversity and Change.
Obot Okoko, Positive Media.
My name is Princess Folake Adedoni. I'm the Program Director of Outreach Program for the Needy.
Engineer Sumbo Ujo, of Citizens of Christ. I'm a shepherd in Celestial Church.
My name is Adekunle Akindude, Celestial Church of Christ, Regional Evangelist.
Mother Celestial Yolanda Akindude, Celestial Church of Christ.
I'm Adebola Aino, Pastor Representative, Messiah CNS Church.
I'm Mark Ann Covington, Assistant Vice President, LBHI Global Tax, and Assistant Vice President, National Organization for Women and Essex County Chapter.
Emmanuel Ajahan, here to support Chief Honorable Christopher Mo.
Chidinma Ajani, I'm here to support Honorable Sina Ogo.
Ben Onwebo, I'm an accountant and the Director Associate from New Jersey to support Chief Honorable Chris Awobo.
My name is Ngozi Aseglem. I'm here to support Chief C.N. Awobo.
My name is Naomi Owoboy. I'm here to support my father, Chris Awoboy.
Good afternoon. I'm Onyechi Joy Awobwe, second daughter of Christopher and Vera Awobwe.
Stanley Awobwe, last son Christopher and Vera Awobwe.
Good afternoon. My name is Lolo Ebera Awobwe. I'm here to support my husband, Chief Christopher Awobwe.
My name is Chief CNC Awobwe, in honor of Front Street Estate LLC and Front Street Nigeria Limited.
My name is Bemi Adeshemowo. I'm here as a part of the Nigerians in Diaspora Americas ICD group.
Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Marita Davis and I'm here as public relations for the African Eye and the travel that's going to be progressing between here and West Africa.
But let me make this preliminary comment that the United Nations, it's a place for everyone, but not everyone have the privilege to be in here. But the United Nations is supposed to represent everyone. And so it's a great honor for me to have you with me in this hall today. And the reason why we've gathered here is very important. Speaking to the issue of diaspora, we know that only a very few of us here might be indigent of the United States as we are here. So many of us who are here seems to me to be diaspora. And in that sense, we have common goals. We have to also unite to achieve these goals. I would not want to take much of your time, but I will say that at the United Nations, in 2015, we agreed to what we call the Sustainable Development Goals. There are 17 of them, and the first one is that there should be no poverty. Then the next one is zero hunger. And the third one is to have good health. And the fourth one is to have education. And the fifth one is to come against inequality, women empowerment, and all of that. And Nigeria has been playing its role in ensuring that this is also fulfilled back in Nigeria. Nigeria was the 99th country to join the United Nations on October 6, 1960. And since then, we've been a very distinguished member of this community of nations. Today, the permanent representative of Nigeria to the United Nations is His Excellency Professor Tijani Muhammad Ubande, who unfortunately or fortunately could not be here because there is another event, very strategic, just on the second floor here. And he has asked me to step in. It will be our honor to always see Nigeria doing well, and particularly Nigeria diaspora. And one of it is the African Eye, the U.S. African Eye, which Dr. Balofin represents. And it's an honor for us to also see all of you here today. Permit me to bring one more person to join us here, because all of us are very important, but when a Nigerian or of Nigerian origin becomes a deputy mayor in United Nations, it is not a mere feat. You agree with me?
Yes.
And so I am going to invite our brother to be the number one on this role. He has just introduced himself as the Deputy Mayor of Newark. Please welcome Walpole. Thank you very much. I was told that this space will be for a lady, that's why I can give you. So you can sit there, sir. You know, so we must recognize achievement that Nigerians are making everywhere. The other time I saw a medical doctor who broke ground in his own field by making sure that a child is born twice. Brought out a fetus from his mother's womb, operated on the brain, and returned to the womb. It has never been done before. And so when people try to give Nigeria a bad image or Africa, as if they have lesser brain, there are people here who are making things happen. I recognize Dr. Motosho, also sitting right here in Bronx. And so when we in the UN hear of the effort that our compatriots are making, we are quick to assist in any way that we can promote what they are doing. So it is in that light that the permanent representative of Nigeria agreed to co-host this event with the U.S. African Eye. As you know, there are going to be award giving, but generally we will give opportunity to everyone to speak. I've been told that one of the speakers is here already, and as a matter of fact, I have maybe I should take that now. Yes, sir. All right. Our first speaker, after we have all introduced ourselves, is going to be Ms. Yewande Austin. She has 5 minutes, and let me read our biodata for us. From MTV to the Historical Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Yewande's socially charged music has taken center stage with musical icon from the Black Eyed Peas of Maroon 5, but it is our work as an award-winning lecturer, social activist, and honorary U.S. cultural ambassador that has become our greatest achievement. Today, this 2018 African Women in Leadership Organization Phenomenal Woman of Worth and 2017 President Barack Obama Lifetime Achievement Award honoree is recognized as an international expert in strategic diversity leadership, multidisciplinary education, social responsibility, and youth development. I think I should stop here while I give the floor to Yewande Austin to make his own comment. She has 3 more minutes left now. Because I've used 2 minutes out of the 5 minutes. All right, you have 4.5 minutes.
Good evening. It's my honor and privilege to be here. I probably don't need the microphone. I am actually a classically trained singer, and I use my music as a tool to teach vulnerable populations around the world how to think creatively about how we solve problems that promote injustice and oppression around the world. In 2017, the African Union reported that the entire continent of Africa generated over $1.5 trillion annually. And yet, we are faced with the fact that well over 50% of the global population that lives in abject poverty also lives on the continent. We know that 263 million children around the world don't attend school. And we know, unfortunately, about the gravity that comes without education. It was once said that a child without education is a child without wings. And sadly, over 50 million of those children alone are in the country of Nigeria, the wealthiest country on the continent, and one where I'm currently building Nigeria's first sustainable community for Boko Haram IDPs, who are very often looked upon as if they are lazy, as if perhaps they are a liability to the country, when I'm here to tell you that our most vulnerable people around the world, especially in Africa, are assets. They are underutilized assets that are just waiting for an opportunity for us to invest our intellectual resources and our financial resources for them to be an asset to Africa. My sustainable community model, Al-Heri Village, has the power to transform how we value, manage, and empower the most vulnerable people in Africa. You know, from the time that I was a child, I dreamed that I could change the world. And I had some images prepared for you that I won't be able to share with you today here on PowerPoint, but it was my dream. From the time that I was just 12 years old, I was marching against apartheid right in Washington, D.C. with my mother. I remember being afraid that day of what may happen because all of the stories I had read about the civil rights movement meant that I was going to be gunned down by police or perhaps attacked by dogs, but I learned at a very early age that my voice could change the world, and that's one of several missions that I have, to empower those that have been rendered voiceless because of poverty and oppression to find their voice and strength. My dream has led me to many amazing places beyond my dreams, from teaching former child soldiers in the Democratic Republic of the Congo conflict resolution methods, and teaching children in child-run households in Malawi how to find their voice, to teaching children in Makoko, in the slums of Lagos, Nigeria, how to build their own businesses that impact change in their communities. These children, who will likely never attend and pursue an advanced education, not because they don't have the intellectual abilities, but because they don't have the financial resources, develop their own social impact businesses in less than 2 months after teaching them. I'm here to remind you that the vulnerable people that we are among across the continent of Africa are not lazy, and they are not disposable. They're waiting on a chance for us to invest in their future. I funded 90% of these initiatives of my own, and very often when I share that in 18 countries that I produce these programs, 12 of them in countries across the continent of Africa, people often look at me like I have a third eye, maybe even a horn, and they ask, why would I do that? It is because I am African, just in case you couldn't tell. As a matter of fact, I just got my DNA results. I'm sure you're very curious about those.
Where are you from?
Where am I from?
Your name shows that.
So it does. So my name, for those of you who don't know, is Nigerian. And my ancestors are of Nigerian descent, from the Congo, from Ghana, and yes, Europe. It is through the tears and the pain of my ancestors that were raped, but also by the strength of those that were kings and queens that give me the ability to go back to the continent to invest my dollars, because I'm African. And because the only people that will save Africa are Africans.
Yes.
That's why I invest my money in Africa. Al-Heri Village will be the first sustainability model of its kind to fill in the gap of human services that are often lacking for those that live in poverty. In 2015, we were the first humanitarian organization in the world to produce emergency education relief programs for children so desperately in need of help. And as I still am eagerly trying to raise the funds to make Al-Heri Village possible, I have funded out of my own pockets the development not only of social entrepreneurship programs for IDP mothers, but have funded their startup companies, starting with reusable sanitary napkins. They have now learned how to farm ginger, how to sew, how to make spices, and now how to make maize flour. These women are now looked upon as different in their families and in their communities, because when you empower women and girls, you change the world. These women are now respected in their communities. Some of them admit that their husbands now respect them. Some of them say they are ready to leave their husbands. That's another subject, yes, as we continue. But USAID points to the fact that when you empower girls and women, they will reinvest 90% of their funds back into their families, compared to the 35% that our men will invest in our families. And this is what we want to do with Al-Heri Village. I am coming to you not only showing you what one African can do across the continent of Africa, but also imploring your support to develop the very first sustainable community for IDPs in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was one of our honoree, Yewande Austin. Thank you so much. We will move on to the next one. And this one, I will be a little bit partial because I've just discovered that we share the same alma mater, the University of Ife. It is my honor to also read the curriculum vitae of Dr. Bola Omotosho. May I request you to stand up as I do that? All right.
And I'll remain standing.
Dr. Bola Omotosho graduated with honors in Bachelor of Science and Doctor of Medicine from Obafemi Awolowo University, Nigeria, formerly University of Ife. He had further training in anesthesiology and successful medical career with the Nigerian Navy before relocating to Bronx in the United States in the late 90s. He also pursued his medical career in the United States with extensive training in hematology and oncology and infection disease as a clinical researcher. Dr. Bola Omotosho quote, one lives are a mixture of different roles. Most of us are doing the best we can to find whatever the right balance is. For me, that balance is family, work, service to humanity, and my creator. Dr. Bola Omotosho, you're welcome to give your comment, your remarks. You can now sit down.
I should not remain standing.
But if you want to stand, please do.
Sit down, please.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, good afternoon, good evening. It's a privilege to be here this afternoon, and I'm so pleased. Thank you so much. I want to thank the organizers. I believe I have 5 minutes, and I'll just go straight to the point. Actually, the history lessons do teach us a lot of things. Yes, I do a lot of specialty work in oncology, which is cancer. Not too many people want to talk to us because of the various stigma with cancer, and nobody wants anybody else in his business. But this night, I'm going to tell you a few things about some of the things we've done and some of the things that are yet to be. I do organize medical missions along with my colleagues in Nigeria, but I came up with a model which is a little different. And that model is to have, instead of just going once a year for medical missions coordinated by AMPA, but the model is to have a monthly visit just to tackle 2 major diseases in Nigeria, and that is hypertension and diabetes. And that model is so simple because most of us here in diaspora, we're inclined to invest back in Nigeria, and most importantly, folks want to build houses in their village, which they hardly have the privilege or opportunity utilizing it for more than maybe 2 weeks in a year, or maximum 1 month, if they're fortunate. And those properties are just lying down there. So the model I proposed to my colleagues was to create, if it's just 2 rooms out of those, their house in their village, just to have a nurse or somebody from the state health department, and to be dealing with hypertension and diabetes. And it's so simple. We get a lot of free medical supplies, especially the baseline treatment for hypertension, and that helps a lot. That I introduced in my village, and it's been working successfully. I also introduced it to various organizations, and also it's been working successfully. My next request, which is something we're working on, is in the area of vaccination. I have a lot of extensive research done in area of vaccination. Last year alone in this country, United States, 80,000 people died from flu. because there was an epidemic. 100 years ago now, more than 80 million people died from flu. But we know the season. Compared to 20,000 average in a year, last year was so bad. We have worked extensively on a lot of vaccines, and I'm proposing that we have a vaccine drive in Nigeria, not for flu, because flu is not common there, but for children from age 9 to 14 and then 15 to 26. So what is this vaccine? HPV, human papilloma virus. 1 plus 2 in math, it's 3. But in this case, 1 plus 2 is equals to 6. Meaning that you have one shot of vaccine of HPV, you have 2 doses, 1 plus 2, and you are protected against 6 forms of cancers. What are these cancers? You have cervical, vaginal, you have the vulva, and you also have the anal, and you have the throat, and also penis.
Sorry, doctor, I have to stop you.
Yes, sir.
Your time is up.
I thought you said 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me just summarize. With this project, my goal is to take it to local government, to start off with my alma mater in University of Ife, now Balofin Awolowo, because they have the boots on the ground to vaccinate the young kids. If this is funded, that will help us compare to the same incident we have several years ago when we all had mass vaccination for smallpox. And now we know smallpox is being eradicated. We are so good in technology, we have all the Android phones, all the Huawei phones in Nigeria, but when it comes to investing in the future for the children, please, I think vaccination is the way to go. Thank you so much.
I thank Dr. Bola Omotosho for that wonderful presentation. Dr. Balofin has 10 minutes, and it is 5:02. So I'm timekeeper here. Over to you. You have the floor, sir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tai Balofin. I welcome you all here. All protocols observed, but especially I want to recognize Reverend Mother Ajayi. She flew all the way from London, UK. Please give her a round of applause. Behind a successful woman, there is a man. Please give it up for Reverend Ajayi. I also want to recognize all the way from Nigeria, representative of Governor Almakura of Nasarawa State. Please give it up for the SSG, Alhaji Abdullahi, the SSG of Nasarawa State. I also have Alhaji Tijani, the Commissioner for Education, Nasarawa State, all the way from Nigeria. Of course, Deputy Mayor Ugo Mwakoro, a brother indeed, that is indeed a brother. We have done all the introduction, but it's not completed if I don't do this. Olamide Davis, a commissioner in the office of the Deputy the Mayor, Service Network, please stand up for recommendation. All work hard to make this conference happen. And of course, Pastor Bolaji Akeremi, please give it up for Pastor. Without him, this is not going to happen. The topic of today's conference, it's the backbone of the reason why we are here. I believe the great philosopher says, if you don't see what you're supposed to see, you will regret, what you are not supposed to go through in the process of not seeing what you're supposed to see. The theme of this conference, which of course related to other workshops, this will end by December, is voluntary repatriation of African diaspora expats for positive and sustainable development. This topic scares a lot of people. Germany, 10 years ago, gave $500 million and said Africans, because of the United Nations agenda, the 2030 agenda to eradicate poverty and unemployment in Africa and in other countries, they say, come, I have fund for you. You expats Come up with initiatives, come up with plans. We will give you funds. Go back to your country. A lot of doctors are in this country. A lot of lawyers are in this country. They don't have a good job. They're driving cars. Now, let us have a big project in Africa. And then you can go to Africa as an expatriate and be paid as an expatriate. And that doesn't mean you're not going to leave this country and go back. United States have a fund. United Nations have fund. But nobody is coming forward. The responsibility of U.S. African Eye is now to pull up a synergy of African organizations. That's why you see NIDO here. That's why you see Yewande. That's why you see Professor Omotosho, Mr. Arik, and other individuals that are here to form a synergy under the African Diaspora Fund project. That the project will be funded. I'm expecting a representative of the World Bank here today, under this umbrella, under this synergy, to come up with a grant, which of course we have submitted on behalf of this project, and we are expecting $2.5 billion that will be injected into this project. But we have to come together under one umbrella to present our case. That's the summary of what you heard from Dr. Motosho. Mr. Arik is still going to, Mr. Brunner is still going to tell us exactly what it is. So I'm giving us a summary, so we all have an idea, an understanding of why we're here. Now, the United Nations agenda is to eradicate poverty in Africa. So what are we doing? Nobody is taking advantage of, nobody knows about it. So it is on this note that we are gathered here to come up with a plan, a memorandum, to say, okay, let us pull our resources together. They are aware of it. We're going to get the submission of all the parties. We put them together, and this is going to be presented between the United Nations system and the World Bank that are willing and are ready to process it for us. There's a process, there's a procedure, and as time goes on, we're going to let everybody have that. Quickly, I want to call your attention to this fact. When President Obasanjo introduced NIDO, the process and the project was not achieved. It was deviated because we didn't pull it through. Constituency for Africa, for the past 10 years, they have been making your money because they come up with a plan, they came up with initiative, but you don't come. So this is to call your attention that this is your money, that it's your responsibility to come forward with your initiative, and we can come under one umbrella. The purpose of this training workshop is to create middle ground whereby immigrants and diaspora will be willing and comfortable to return to Africa and honored members of Task of Nation building, and to offer quotation, experts, and professional in that regard. Therefore, we have sponsorship. We thank Nigeria Mission for sponsoring this, and as time goes on, we're going to have more. Nasarawa State government is involved. Mother Ajayi is here, and we know that Mother Ajayi will do our best to pull this through, because I know this is going to happen. I know Mother Esther. Mother Esther. You know, I read somewhere that she donated a lot of money to support IDTs, to support the poor and the needy. A lot of us, Temitope Ajayi, also, I've read somewhere about activities in Nigeria. We're going to pull it through. Mother Diana, I'm aware of NIDO. NIDO, they're going to talk about their programs and initiatives. Today also, we are going to give a humanitarian award to those that are doing well. Mother Reverend Ajayi, 2017, single-handedly pulled the war together in London, and she spent close to £5 million of her own money to pull resources together and take care of the poor and the needy. 2018, you are all aware, right in New York, spend over $10 million of our own money to pool resources together and help the needy. Under Humanitarian, if there's anybody that is qualified to get this Humanitarian award here at the United Nations today, is Reverend Mother Ajayi. Please give her a round of applause. Therefore, we are going to present all our presentation, and we come up with a guideline, and then we're going to get what is called a no objection grant from the World Bank. Take it to the bank, but we must come together, we must stick together, we must be positive and make sure that we come up with a plan and initiative to develop Africa. United Nations cannot do it alone. Nigerian government cannot do it alone. That's why we need partnership initiative. Why would a Nigerian go to America or India for cancer treatment when someone like the Nigerian Association of Physicians in America can go to Nigeria and we can fund them with like $100 million to have a specialist hospital? Why should you fly to India? Why should you fly to America? They are experts. They are here. We should repatriate them back to Nigeria. We should repatriate them back to Africa and use their expertise. Mr. Aino is an accountant, he's a chartered accountant for that matter. He's here. So we must come up with a platform, we'll come up with an initiative. In America today, there's no poverty because they know where to go and get help. We have a program here. It's a project that we are partnering with the federal government of Nigeria for the poor Nigerians. In all the 74 local governments in Nigeria, we are going to start with 100 people. And the federal government, under this umbrella, are willing to support. I can give you the numbers. So this way, in all the local governments, if you don't have family, you don't have hope, you don't have life, there is a system in that local government. Go there. Nigerian government is planning a national fund that will give food stamps. That is why the government of Buhari are saying that it's not working. But there is a plan that I know. I was with the president. And I know the president means well for Nigeria. And under this initiative, it's also going to partner with the federal government of Nigeria. But this is just the beginning. The workshop will continue. I will get all your information. When it's time for us to do this, we are going to pull it through. The governor of Nasarawa State is doing wonderfully well in Nigeria. The poor people in Nasarawa State, government have an agenda for them. They have a program for them. Nasarawa State, they have a program and agenda for the elderly. They have for the children. That's why they love the governor of Nasarawa State. And the disabled. And special persons. So they are going to have the opportunity to speak about that. For that reason, that's why the governor is also going to receive the Humanitarian award. Particularly, Dr. Motosho is here. We're going to honor him. Also, Chris, our Wobwe chief, is doing very well. He's our own. He lives in New Jersey. And he's doing tremendously well. A partner of his is supposed to be here. They're working on a project of almost about $3 billion in Nigeria under this initiative. We are all going to plug together under one umbrella. It's going to be huge. Lastly, we have a big wig. His name is Prince Arthur Eze. He's one of the richest Nigeria. I don't know who is richer, Dangote or Arthur Eze. This gentleman just recently bought a private jet of $62 million. It's supposed to be here, but he said to me, look, it's going to cost me almost about $150,000 to fuel my, my private jet to come here. But listen, tell the deputy mayor, my God, you collect the award on my behalf, and then when I come to America, I am going to support this initiative. And when he speaks, he means it. Single-handedly, I know how much he contributed in the last election, 2015, I was there. The man gave 1.2 billion naira just to make sure that we eradicate, was it malaria or something in Nigeria? So I have my facts. On that ground, we are going to honor and give him Humanitarian Award. At this point in time, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. I have 10 minutes and I spent 9 minutes.
It's always good to live in illusion. You started speaking at 5:02, this is 5:15.
You didn't stop me.
Somebody said African time. Africa does not have its own time. And it is not in our nature. But it was because we were making sense.
Thank you.
We have to be guided by the rules in the UN. The entire building will close by 6. So it is not discriminating against us.
No.
It's just their own program. And so if we don't manage our time well, they will still close because they have security that will not go on over time. And they will not pay them because we are doing our own program specially. They only pay them to secure us. And so with that, I want to call on Mother Ajayi, Reverend Mother Ajayi, for our own comment, and I know that she will be very, very brief. Thank you. You have the floor.
Thank you so very much. I'm glad to be here. I think it's my 4th time now at the UN, and I thank God it's our people. All along, it's Bulgarian, Holocaust, and I can't remember the dimension, but I'm very happy that it's our people. I almost missed this. But I want to tell you what briefly. Until when you taste poverty, you don't know what it feels to be poor. In this my lifetime at the United Kingdom, I've been homeless before. Homeless on the streets of London. My husband on a hospital bed, North Middlesex Hospital, with 4 children and 1 adopted daughter, making 5 of them, finding myself on the streets of London. No home. But I thank God if He can turn my situation around. I started asking myself, what can I give back to humanity? And that is where Esther Ajayi Foundation came to life. And I thank God since all this while, it's been win-win game. We started from the United Kingdom, where the Lord made me to find goodness. And then we started going all over the world. This year alone, I've been to about 46 cities of the world. I've been to Turkey, Uganda, Ghana. I've been to about 12 cities in the USA, still eradicating poverty. Right now, as we are talking, there is a woman somewhere in the world, her husband is on an hospital bed with kids, that there is nowhere for her to lay her head. Why? Because the one that is working, the engine of the family, is either sick. I am a pastor. I've not been doing secular jobs since about 20 years. And my husband that have the regular job was sick, and I've got kids. And what topped it all then was that I was an illegal immigrant at the UK, and my husband being sick, and bailiff coming early in the morning. And then I say, all the days of my life, I will continue to help whoever have got genuine proof that you are running through poverty. Right now in Nigeria, we are renovating schools at Odogbodu local government. The Esther Ajayi Foundation building just got ready in Ogun State. And we're still moving. We're still moving. When we were at the Ovation magazine Carol in December, we said we are going to empower 1 million lives. Right now we are at 860,000, and we are still going. Let me tell you this, nobody can do it for us. Only us can help us, and God will touch our hearts. Thank you.
Thank you so much. With so much passion from Mother Esther Ajayi, thank you so much. We can't say more to what you have said about poverty. God who has brought you out of poverty will bring many more out of it.
Amen.
I'm a Nigerian. I'm only working for Nigeria and United States. I'm not like you people. I'm going back home. I'm not diaspora. I'm real Omobadi.
Give me so.
And so I'm glad when I hear that people are from Nasarawa. And so I can feel the effort they are putting to be here. So we're going to take presentation from the SSG of Nasarawa, Mohammed Abdullahi. You have the floor, sir.
How many minutes?
How many minutes? 2 minutes. And the time is 5:20.
Okay, let me say that on behalf of my principal, the governor of Nasarawa State, Moran Tokamukura, we are really honored and indeed very privileged to be here. Let me first and foremost give you a background of his persona. Tanko Amukura is a certified disabled person because he's deaf and dumb. And when he came to contest for elections in 2011, he was contesting with a very abled incumbent in the then PDP. Because nobody gave him a chance, nobody believed that a deaf person can govern the state. He kind of brought along people like us who think alike, who have this exposure about giving opportunities to other persons with disability. And lo and behold, we were able to defeat an incumbent in the PDP. So that explains why
it's passion.
It's passion for a program for persons with disability. As of today, we have one of the best special schools in the country, where it's open to virtually everybody who is disabled. We deal specifically with persons who are either deaf or blind, or have a mental disability, or have one form of deformity or the other. So it's about one of the best special schools in the country. Secondly, we have what we call the Youth Empowerment Program, which essentially targets youth, take them off the street, and get them engaged in programs that have some beneficial service to the people. So most of these youth, over 7,000 of them now are off the streets. They're into what we call facility management. Some of them are into road marshals, managing traffic congestions in major cities, and then some of them are into environment guards, advising government on basic environmental, standard sanitation activities. So about 7,000 youths are off the streets as we speak at the moment. That explains why Nasarawa is a bit stable, both politically and security-wise. What we get usually is what we call offshoots. Not really offshoot, what do you call it? What do you call it? Spiral effect of what happened in neighboring states like Benue and Plateau states. Then thirdly, I think one of our flagship program, apart from the special education empowerment, is the free education that we provide to our youth from both primary to secondary to tertiary levels. Education is free in Nasarawa State, especially if you attend the Nasarawa State University itself and Nasarawa State Polytechnic. But let me just take 1 minute of opportunity to talk to you about 2 areas where there are opportunities for investment in Nasarawa State. There is the real estate opportunities in Nasarawa State because we are very close to Abuja, and we have the largest contiguous boundary, around the FCT. So there are numerous opportunities for you to invest in real estate. We have the 13,000 hectares of land which we are developing in conjunction with some banks. It offers services, special services for virtually every interested party. It's segmented into industrial area, to academic, schools, education, to hospitals, health facilities, etc. Finally, we have options in the mining industry. Nasarawa State is blessed with so much mineral resources. Over 75 different types of mineral resources are found in Nigeria, are found in Nasarawa State. That is why we are called State of Solid Minerals. So there are options and opportunities you can invest in Nasarawa State in the mining and real estate sector. Thank you so much. And we are open to investors. We are discussing with Mr. Balofin to bring up a brochure that will provide these opportunities in a book format that can be taken over, or they can be invested upon, or they can be identified and distributed to individuals. Thank you so much for my incoherence. I mean my incoherence.
Thank you so much, at the SSG. Well, I have a property in Nasarawa, so I'm happy to meet the secretary, the SSG. I have a school there, so.
Oh, really?
At Maraba, so I'm also contributing to
the education commissioner is here, so he's wondering why.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to take now, this is not, I don't know whether it's a diaspora, but my honor to call Robert Brunner to make a little presentation. And after that, we take Obed Manado.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Bob Brunner. I've spent most of my working life in the airline business, starting out at British Airways, starting at the very basic level of reservations, taking phone calls and making the bookings, working my way up through cargo organization, through sales and marketing, finance, IT, and spent some time in London putting together IT systems. And I finally left British Airways as the head of the Midwest region, covering 18 states, 6 gateways, and 9 flights a day for them. I then moved on to Arik Air, where we started up operations into the United States. And while it was very successful, unfortunately, due to a management change and management philosophy change, they decided to stop flying into the United States. So that left a lot of Nigerians without that nonstop service. And that's kind of what I'm here to talk about a little bit today, because West Africa needs international airline service. And if you look at the map, there's no better African area positioned to handle nonstop service from both Europe and the United States than West Africa, which would really open the African continent to a lot of investment, a lot of job creation. When you think about what is an airline, I mean, you think everybody thinks of an airplane flying back and forth. But in order to do that, you have engineering, very high paying, high quality, high level jobs. And there's a lot of people working, I think Dr. Balofin touched on it, that have great degrees but don't work at a level to utilize those degrees. I believe the numbers prove that in the United States, Nigerians have more college, by percentage, have more college graduates, they have more master's degrees and more doctorates than any other identifiable group in the United States. Yet that doesn't translate to the jobs that they could be doing. So by investing in an airline, for example, you create the opportunity for these people to be employed at the levels of their capability. There are also less intense jobs, cargo handling, people that need to put the freight onto the airplane, baggage handling. You have travel agencies, you have tourism. People can drive buses to take people from the airport to their hotels. The opportunity that airlines create is amazing. So if you look at West Africa, what I see is the potential of Dubai. I see the potential of Amsterdam, Schiphol Airport. Neither one of those two countries have a population size that justifies the size of those airlines. There's no business for those airlines to be as large and successful as they are, except there's a public-private agreement that they get the investment from the government to have fantastic facilities. The taxes are really, I don't think they tax the airlines because they know how much money they're going to make by putting people into and through the nation. And so we need to get both government recognition and you need private investment, because you don't really want the government to own the airlines. You want private business to run the airlines and the businesses around it, but you need the government to provide the infrastructure that can happen. So
thank you.
That's my story, and we need people to invest in it. And thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Robert. Before I will take Ugo, I'm going to take Paul Trotman. We've heard from the airline. Now let's hear from the manager of an artist manager responsible for introducing African music to the U.S. market.
Yes.
You know, starting with King Sonny Ade.
Sonny Okosun.
You know, this morning I got some set of white guys singing Asikola Yeda Kumola. I mean, some people can relate with that, knows what that means. And they sang it so well, and I just flew with them. And so you have the floor, sir. You have 2 minutes, maximum. 2 minutes.
I just want to say one thing, and that is that at the recent showing of Oshun, the goddess, of Nigerian movie, was said by Queen Diambi of the Congo, it's time for Africans to tell their story rather than others tell it for them. Now, if you look at, you look at what's going on in music in Nigeria and much of the third world, they're telling our story, my story, America's story. They're not telling their story. And we don't need you to tell us our story. We need you to tell us your story. Don't throw away what took how many thousands of years to develop. Value what you have, preserve it, and we don't have the answers here. Maybe you do.
Thank you.
Now, Paul, you probably have spoken the hardest fact that everyone needs to hear here today. And thank you so much for being so brutal. No, brutal. He wasn't blunt. It was a brutal fact. He wasn't smiling at all. And I thought there was need for that. Thank you so much for being that very brutal. Now we're going to go on a gentle one, because this is now speaking about a deputy mayor. And so he's also receiving an award for someone described as possibly the richest Nigeria. I don't know, that could be the richest Nigeria and the richest African. Maybe there's difference in the same country, because he was comparing 2 people. But there's no need to compare who is richer. It's the impact that they're able to make that matters.
That's right.
And so representing Otto Eze today is our own Ugo Nwakoro, Deputy Mayor of Newark. A good friend. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm representing myself as a deputy mayor of the city of Newark, but I'm also going to be accepting an award on behalf of Prince Arthur Eze.
3.
Okay, I don't have a presentation to make, but as a deputy mayor in charge of international relations and diaspora affairs in the city of Newark, New Jersey, I just want to talk a little bit about what it means to be positive, to represent Nigeria properly, to help diffuse the stigma of the bad name that they call Nigerians. So I'm going to use a personal experience of mine. So when I first became the deputy mayor of the city of Newark, Africans, as a matter of fact, fellow Nigerians, told my mayor that for the people that he could make deputy mayor, he chose an Igbo man. That the Igbo man will sell, amongst other things this Igbo man will do, will be to sell the City Hall of Newark, New Jersey. Ridiculous. Yes, the mayor laughed and almost fell down. So, but we'll look at it like it's funny. But it's a serious problem we Africans have against each other. Yes. So, but the other thing too is, as a deputy mayor and executive, I'm required to wear a suit. you know. So their impression of suit is European suit and tie. But I had a different understanding of suit. So the first day I appeared like I appeared, somebody that thought he was a smart individual came to me as a deputy mayor. You're not supposed to wear your African attire to work. And I laughed. I said, this is not just an African attire, it's an African suit. That when I was told to wear suit, I wasn't told to just wear European suit. So I stood my ground and I wore it. People that have come to my office, you see me mostly in stuff like this. I stood my ground. The next day, the same individual came, oh, Deputy Mayor, you wear this so well. Oh, where can I get mine? The mayor also wears this. Our mayor wears this stuff. It has, you know, so the impact, the reason why I'm talking about this, when I wear this, I help to feed a family in Nigeria.
Yes.
Because the teller now will be able to send his kids to school, yes, be able to buy food, be able to do things. So we look at it like it's just an outfit. It's not. It's not. So there's more to it. So we are promoting our culture. We are making a statement. Like Mr. Trotman said, nobody can tell our story better than we can tell it. So be yourself, be African. Don't let anybody talk you down.
Yes.
Be proud of who you are.
Yeah.
Then also eat Nigerian food. When you eat Nigerian food, not only are you eating you're eating a healthy food, it's very organic.
Yes.
You are also patronizing the farmer in Nigeria. You're also helping them. You're also doing all kinds of things. And most importantly, be positive about when you do all this. You know, when you appear with your shoulder.
Thank you, Mayor.
So then, you know, I can't. If I start talking about Nigeria, my beloved Nigeria, I won't stop. So I'm a proud Nigerian, unapologetic Nigerian. So be the same, and God bless you.
Thank you so much. Deputy Mayor, you almost made me not to stop you. Because you started with PhD. Who knows what that means? Pull him down syndrome. Pull her down syndrome. I think that's the message that he has thrown to us today to ensure we stop this. There's really nothing that you want to criticize your brother or sister for that does not exist elsewhere. The white guys also have their own issues. They just try to win hookers by pronouncing our own. They have worse one. And so we will not be rushing for PhD again, but rather we'll lift each other up. Thank you so much, Deputy Mayor. I look forward to you becoming the mayor very soon. Yeah, we've called Obed Manago before. Manago, so you have your floor now. Very briefly, the Deputy Mayor has spoken on your behalf, but you can just concur with him.
I've been in that field for 21 years. As a matter of fact, I was the lead engineer in the design of the interior of the Hummer 2 and 3. So my area is soft trim. So anything you feel and touch inside your vehicle, that's my area. I've done that for 21 years. But that's not the reason why I'm here. I'm here because I am the chairman of Nigerians in Diaspora Americas, and that is South and North America. So I'm the chairman board of trustees. I joined NIDO due to my passion for going back to give back. As at now, I'm on sabbatical. I'm no longer active in my profession, so I'm actively just working for NIDO. That's why I'm here. We are 3 of us here. The projects we have here are threefold, I may say. One is in the ICT area. The other is in the medical field area. The other one is the IDP. I will touch briefly, and I would like the experts to elaborate more.
Yeah, we will be gathered another time.
Okay. Anyway, we started our ICT program in 2016. A group of Nigerian professors here, one NASA scientist, including her, we came together and we went to Abuja during our Diaspora Day. The Diaspora Day takes place every July 25th in Abuja, in Nigeria. So that gave us the opportunity to train Nigerian youth free of charge in the ICT area. So we've done that consecutively. So the Federal Minister of Investment, Trade and Industry got a hold of us and they're partnering with us. So our intention is to duplicate that within other states. In the area of the DIG, that's Diaspora Investment Group, it has to do with a program that we call medical tourism. Okay? A group of us came together, and what we are envisioning is a complex campus.
Yeah, we're going to come back to you.
Okay.
Thank you. Allow me to recognize here today Queen Diambi Kabatu Sohila. Is a queen all the way from Republic of Zambia. Congo.
I'm a dear friend of Nigeria.
Yes. I know.
Daughter of the East.
I can smell it. I'm a prince too. When I see a king, I know. Thank you so much. We will take Chief Tope Ajayi for 30 seconds. 30 seconds, please.
Yeah, I'm so blessed to be here today. My name is Chief Tope Ajayi. I happen to be a minority CEO from Silicon Valley, DNA Nigeria. What is happening right now? I have just to tell you good news. As of today, we've partnered with HP, Oracle, IBM, LinkedIn, and what is happening right now? India became India. Information technology. Thanks to Bill Gates and thanks to Oracle. What we are trying to do is to duplicate what Oracle did and what Bill Gates did for India. We had the first immersion program, second immersion program, and now, as of today, IBM has sent us a partner. We have some angel investors. We are ready to invest in any of the startups. We are ready to invest in agriculture. Because today, Western growers in the Silicon Valley, they export $65 billion worth of agricultural produce. They are our partner. So we are ready to come to Nigeria right now, partner with the local. They said they can invest, but they want to partner with the local. They will bring the equipment, they will build the city, and they will now tell the Nigerian to bring out the...
We'll go straight into the award now.
Information that...
The first on the award list is Reverend Mother Esther Ajayi. I want to rise to do that. I will call the list of those that we will be giving a word. Prince Arthur Eze, His Excellency Almakura Tanko, Dr. Moto Shobola, Professor Odunsi, and Dr. Christopher Ubwe, and lastly, Ugo Nwa Okoro Debri May. So, these distinguished personalities have done so much for humanity, and they will be presented this honor. As you know, that this is Nigeria permanent mission with the U.S. African Eye doing this. So I'm standing in for my permanent representative, Professor Bande, who unavoidably is absent. So we will be doing this together on your behalf. So we respectfully request you to please rise.
Mr. Brunner, Mr. Paul.
So we will request that Mr. Brunner and Paul to join us as we give this out.
We have the honor to present this award today to Prince Arthur Eze at the United Nations. To Prince Arthur Eze, honor received from the Deputy Mayor of Newark, New Jersey.
Certificate of Special Congressional Recognition presented to Prince Arthur Eze recipient of the Humanitarian Award from the U.S. African Eye Repatriation Conference. It is my honor this day to present this to you. Please hold it here.
Thank you very much. I'll make sure the prince does it.
Jama'a yau za mu ba gwamnan namu a Nasarawa State, a jihar na Nasarawa, Gwamnan Umaru Tanko Almakura, mun ba shi wannan award saboda aiki wanda yana yi a Nasarawa State. Ladies and gentlemen, we present this award, Humanitarian Award, to Governor Umaru Tanko Almakura, the governor of Nasarawa State, because in recognition of his contribution to social development in Nasarawa, Nigeria, Africa. I present the award, ladies and gentlemen, to Governor Tanko Almakura, represented by Alhaji Mohammed Abdullahi, SSG, Secretary of State of Nasarawa State. With honor, I present this award to His Excellency, Governor Almakura. Round of applause.
Thank you so much.
On behalf of Congressman Donald Payne Jr. of New Jersey, we present this certificate of recognition to Governor Umaru Tanko Almakura for a humanitarian award and humanitarian activities in Nigeria. The congressional recognition is presented because we appreciate what you do, and the congressman sends his personal greetings to you. Thank you.
Okay, this way.
With honor, I present this award to you in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present this award to Dr. Bola Omotosho.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this award is for Chief Christopher Awobwe for his activities or humanitarian program in New Jersey. We present this award, humanitarian award, to him at the United Nations today. Thank you.
Okay, this way.
Lastly, we present to Professor Odusi. Dr. Motoshaw will receive this award on behalf of Professor Odusi for doing wonderfully in the medical field. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so honored. We thank Dr. Ty Balofin, and we thank you, Honorable. And we thank God for everything He has done for all of us. We are here to support each other. We are here to honor each other. Nigeria is also missing a lot on intellectual property. I'm a patent holder, and I believe Nigeria needs to think about our children. We cannot think about being end users. We can be productive citizens. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That is quite... The last award is for the excellent management of time for everybody. Give yourself a round of applause.